Have you ever wondered why some people are still gardening, walking with energy, and remembering everything clearly well into their 90s, while others in their 60s already rely on 5 different medications a day? I used to think it was genetics, but after over 30 years working with older adults, I've learned something powerful. It's not luck, it's daily habits. In this video, I'll share 10 simple but life-changing things that healthy, long-living people around the world do every single day. And the best part? You can start doing them today, right from your own home. In today's video, you're going to discover 10 simple, science-backed habits that can help you live longer, feel better, and stay independent, without relying on expensive supplements or extreme diets. These are the very same habits followed by people in places like Japan, Italy, and even right here in the US. People who are living well into their 90s and beyond with energy, clarity, and purpose. Whether you're 55 or 85, it's never too late to make a few small changes that can lead to a healthier, more vibrant life. So stay with me, because even just one of these tips could completely change how you feel. Here's something most doctors won't tell you. Aging doesn't have to mean feeling weak, tired, or forgetful. But in the US, more than 80% of adults over 60 are living with at least one chronic illness: heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, memory loss, you name it. What's worse is that many of these conditions are being treated with more pills, more appointments, and more frustration, instead of real, lasting changes in how we live. But here's the good news. In communities around the world where people live well past 90 and even 100, like Okinawa, Sardinia, and Loma Linda, they don't rely on fancy health trackers or miracle vitamins. They rely on a handful of daily habits. Simple habits. Habits you can start right now. And today, we're going to walk through 10 of those powerful habits, what they are, how they work, and how you can bring them into your own life starting today. First, let's talk about one of the most powerful, but most overlooked daily habits for longevity: eating leafy greens every single day. I remember speaking with a patient named Carol, 88 years old, from North Carolina. She came into my clinic walking tall, with clear eyes and energy most 60-year-olds would envy. When I asked her what her secret was, she simply smiled and said, "Spinach. I eat it every day, sometimes raw, sometimes sautéed, but I never go a day without my greens." Carol isn't an exception. She's a shining example of what consistent, simple choices can do over time. Leafy greens like spinach, kale, and arugula are nutritional powerhouses. They're loaded with vitamins A, C, and K, as well as folate, calcium, potassium, and fiber. Vitamin K, in particular, plays a key role in bone strength and helps prevent artery calcification, a common cause of heart disease in older adults. The fiber in these greens supports digestion and stabilizes blood sugar levels, while their antioxidants help protect the eyes, brain, and immune system from age-related decline. These aren't just vegetables. They're daily medicine in disguise. The best part? They're incredibly easy to incorporate into your meals. Toss a handful of baby spinach into your morning scrambled eggs. Add chopped kale to your lunchtime soup or sandwich. Or make a simple dinner salad with mixed greens, olive oil, and a few walnuts. 1 cup of raw greens, about the size of a loosely packed handful, is a great place to start. If you prefer them cooked, a half cup of sautéed greens gives you similar benefits. Dr. Wells's tip: to boost nutrient absorption, especially vitamins A and K, always pair leafy greens with a small amount of healthy fat, like 1 teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil or a slice of avocado. Not only does this enhance flavor, but it also helps your body actually use the nutrients you're giving it. Now, you might be thinking, okay, that sounds doable. And you'd be absolutely right. Remember, It's not about perfection, it's about consistency. One serving of greens a day may seem small, but over months and years, it becomes a foundation for long-term health. Second, let's dive into a delicious habit that supports your gut, mind, and immunity. Eating fermented foods every day. I once met a gentleman named Mr. Sato, a 91-year-old retired teacher from Japan. He had a gentle voice, a sharp memory, and the kind of calm presence that made you feel instantly at ease. Every morning, without fail, he'd start his day with a small bowl of rice topped with natto, fermented soybeans with a strong smell and a sticky texture. When I asked why he stuck with it for so many years, he simply said, "Because it makes me feel alive inside." Fermented foods like natto, miso, yogurt, kefir, kimchi, and sauerkraut are rich in probiotics, beneficial bacteria that help balance your gut microbiome. And believe it or not, your gut health affects much more than digestion. A healthy gut supports a strong immune system, reduces inflammation, and even plays a role in regulating mood and brain health. In fact, over 70% of your immune cells are housed in your gut. When your gut is in balance, your whole body benefits, from fewer colds to sharper mental clarity. Adding fermented foods to your daily routine doesn't have to be complicated. Try one serving, about half a cup, of plain yogurt with breakfast. Add a tablespoon of kimchi or sauerkraut to your lunch plate. Stir a spoonful of miso paste into warm water for a quick soup. Or, if you're feeling adventurous, try a small serving of natto or tempeh a few times a week. The key is consistency. Start small, listen to your body, and find the ones you enjoy. Dr. Wells' tip: when buying fermented foods like yogurt or sauerkraut, look for labels that say "live and active cultures" or "unpasteurized." Many store-bought versions are heat-treated, which kills the good bacteria. And remember, never boil miso. Stir it into warm, not hot, water to preserve its benefits. The beauty of fermented foods is that they don't just help you today. They build resilience in your body for the years ahead. A healthier gut means a healthier you. Third, let's talk about something hearty, comforting, and deeply beneficial: whole grains. When I asked one of my longtime patients, George, an 86-year-old former mechanic from Minnesota, what he ate for breakfast every day, he looked me straight in the eye and said, "Oatmeal. No sugar, just oats, nuts, and a splash of milk. It keeps me going until lunch." George had been eating whole grains for decades, and it showed. His energy was steady, his weight was healthy, and his doctor visits were few and far between. Whole grains like brown rice, oats, barley, and quinoa are packed with fiber, B vitamins, magnesium, and antioxidants. Unlike refined grains, which are stripped of their nutrients, whole grains retain the bran and germ, parts of the grain that support heart health, stabilize blood sugar, and improve digestion. The fiber in whole grains also feeds the good bacteria in your gut, keeping your digestive system regular and your inflammation low. For older adults, whole grains can help reduce the risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and even certain cancers. Incorporating whole grains into your meals is surprisingly easy. Start your day with half a cup of cooked steel-cut oats, topped with sliced banana and chopped walnuts. For lunch, try a quinoa salad, or swap white bread for 100% whole wheat. At dinner, replace white rice with 1 cup of cooked brown rice or barley. These small swaps can make a big difference in your energy levels and long-term health. Dr. Wells's tip: if whole grains feel heavy or hard to digest, try soaking them overnight before cooking. For example, soak brown rice or oats in water for 6 to 8 hours. This helps break down phytic acid and makes the grains easier on your stomach while improving nutrient absorption. What I love about whole grains is how grounding they are. They give you sustained energy without spikes or crashes, and they're incredibly versatile. From breakfast to dinner, whole grains can fit into nearly every meal. Fourth, let's turn our attention to one of the healthiest fats you can add to your daily meals: extra virgin olive oil. A few years ago, I met Maria, an 89-year-old woman from a small town in southern Italy. She still walked to the market every morning, cooked lunch for her grandchildren, and kept a small herb garden behind her house. When I asked her what ingredient she used most often in her kitchen, she grinned and held up a glass bottle. "Olive oil," she said proudly. "Every day, always raw. It keeps me young." Extra virgin olive oil is more than just a flavorful dressing. It's a nutritional powerhouse. Rich in monounsaturated fats and polyphenols, powerful antioxidants, it helps reduce inflammation throughout the body. That's critical, especially for seniors, as chronic inflammation is a key factor in heart disease, arthritis, and even Alzheimer's. Studies have shown that people who regularly consume olive oil have lower risks of stroke and cognitive decline. It's also beneficial for cholesterol levels, raising the good HDL and lowering the bad LDL. Using olive oil daily is simple. Drizzle 1 to 2 tablespoons over your salad, steamed vegetables, or whole grains. You can also use it as a dip for whole grain bread, or mix it into homemade dressings. Just make sure it's cold-pressed and labeled extra virgin. This ensures it retains the highest level of nutrients and flavor. Dr. Wells's tip: never use extra virgin olive oil for high-heat frying. Heat can damage the delicate antioxidants and reduce its health benefits. Instead, use it raw or for low-heat cooking. And store it in a dark glass bottle away from sunlight to keep it fresh longer. What I love about olive oil is that it's simple, versatile, and deeply traditional. It connects generations and cultures while delivering modern-day health benefits. A small change, just a tablespoon a day, can have a big impact over time. Fifth, let's crunch into something small but mighty: nuts and seeds, enjoyed daily and in moderation. I remember a patient named Elaine, 82 years old, who told me she always started her mornings with a spoonful of ground flax seeds and a handful of walnuts. "It's my little brain booster," she said with a wink. She was sharp, quick-witted, and full of life, and her diet was clearly part of the reason why. Nuts and seeds like almonds, walnuts, flax seeds, chia seeds, and pumpkin seeds are packed with healthy fats, plant-based protein, fiber, magnesium, and vitamin E. These nutrients support brain function, heart health, and stable blood sugar. Walnuts, for example, are one of the best plant-based sources of omega-3 fatty acids, essential for brain health and inflammation control. Almonds support strong bones and skin, while flax seeds help improve digestion and hormone balance. The key, especially for seniors, is portion control. Nuts and seeds are nutrient-dense, but also calorie-dense. A healthy serving is about 1 ounce per day, roughly a small handful or 2 tablespoons if using ground seeds. Try adding chopped walnuts or almonds to your morning oatmeal, sprinkling chia or flax seeds into a smoothie, or keeping a small bag of mixed nuts for an afternoon snack. Dr. Wells's tip: always choose raw or dry roasted nuts without added salt or sugar. Store them in the fridge or freezer to keep them fresh and prevent the natural oils from going rancid. And if you have trouble chewing, ground seeds or nut butters are excellent alternatives. Nuts and seeds may be small, but their impact is long-lasting. With just a handful a day, you're fueling your brain, protecting your heart, and nourishing your body. Sixth, let's focus on something that might be hiding in plain sight: cutting back on sugar and processed foods. I once had a conversation with Harold, a 75-year-old former accountant who came to me struggling with fatigue, brain fog, and stubborn belly weight. "I don't eat that much junk," he told me. But after looking at his food journal, we uncovered something surprising: flavored yogurts, sweetened cereals, granola bars, and canned soups, all packed with hidden sugars. Just 2 months after he started reading labels and cutting back, Harold lost 10 pounds, felt more energized, and said his mind felt clear for the first time in years. Added sugars and processed foods are a major driver of chronic disease, especially in people over 60. They contribute to inflammation, weight gain, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, joint pain, and even memory decline. What's tricky is that sugar hides behind many names: corn syrup, dextrose, maltodextrin, and more. And many processed foods, like frozen dinners, packaged snacks, and sweetened drinks, are loaded with preservatives and empty calories that your body doesn't need. The solution isn't to quit sugar cold turkey, but to be mindful. Start by replacing sweet drinks with water, unsweetened tea, or infused water with lemon and mint. Choose plain yogurt and add fresh fruit instead of buying pre-sweetened ones. Limit store-bought baked goods and instead enjoy a piece of dark chocolate or a homemade treat once in a while. Aim to cook more meals at home using whole, recognizable ingredients. A good rule of thumb: if it has more than 5 ingredients you can't pronounce, it's probably not helping your health. Dr. Wells's tip: read the nutrition label, and don't just look at sugar, check for added sugars. The American Heart Association recommends no more than 24 grams per day for women and 36 grams for men. That's about 6 to 9 teaspoons, less than what's in a single can of soda. Sugar may taste sweet in the moment, but its long-term effects are anything but. Reducing it just a little every day can lead to dramatic improvements in your energy, focus, and overall well-being. 7th, let's shift from what you eat to how you move, by increasing natural movement throughout your day. I'll never forget Mr. Thompson, an 87-year-old veteran who still mowed his own lawn, walked his dog twice a day, and refused to buy a recliner because "I sit enough already." He told me, "Doc, I don't do gyms. I just stay busy." And that, in many ways, is the secret. Natural movement, like walking, gardening, cleaning the house, or taking the stairs, is one of the most underrated health habits for seniors. Unlike intense workouts that can feel intimidating or unsafe, these everyday motions are easy on the joints, support balance, and keep your heart and muscles strong. Regular movement improves blood circulation, reduces the risk of falls, maintains healthy weight, and even helps boost your mood by releasing endorphins. It also promotes lymphatic drainage and supports cognitive function, 2 critical factors as we age. You don't need to track your steps or sign up for a fitness class. Instead, look for simple ways to move every hour. Aim for at least 30 minutes of gentle activity each day. That could be walking around the block, stretching while watching TV, sweeping the porch, or tending to plants. Break it up into smaller chunks. 3 10-minute sessions are just as effective as one long one. If you have mobility issues, even seated leg lifts, arm circles, or light chair exercises can help you stay active. Dr. Wells's tip: link movement to your daily routines. For example, take a short walk right after meals to support digestion and stabilize blood sugar. If you're on the phone, pace around the house instead of sitting still. Movement doesn't have to be a chore, it can be part of your lifestyle. Incorporating more motion into your day doesn't just keep your body fit, it keeps your spirit alive. The more you move, the more energy and independence you maintain. 8th, let's talk about one of the most healing, yet most overlooked parts of your daily routine: getting enough sleep and aligning with your body's natural rhythm. I once met Evelyn, a 79-year-old retired librarian who had more energy than people half her age. While many of her friends struggled with sleep, she had a nightly routine that she swore by. Lights out by 9:30, no screens after dinner, and a cup of chamomile tea before bed. "Sleep is my secret," she told me. "It's when my body does the real work." Sleep is more than rest. It's when your body repairs itself, clears out toxins, and recharges both mentally and physically. For older adults, getting 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep each night is crucial for memory, heart health, immune strength, and emotional stability. When your sleep is irregular or shallow, it raises your risk for high blood pressure, diabetes, depression, and cognitive decline. Even your appetite and balance are affected by poor sleep. To sleep better, start by creating a calming nighttime routine. Aim to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. Turn off screens at least 1 hour before bedtime and dim the lights to signal to your brain that it's time to wind down. Keep your bedroom cool, quiet, and dark. Around 65 degrees Fahrenheit is ideal for most people. Avoid heavy meals and caffeine in the evening, and instead try gentle stretches, reading, or deep breathing exercises to relax your body and mind. Dr. Wells's tip: expose yourself to natural light in the morning. Step outside for at least 15 minutes. This helps reset your circadian rhythm, making it easier to fall asleep at night. If you wake up frequently, try keeping a consistent wind-down routine and consider a magnesium supplement with your doctor's guidance. Good sleep isn't a luxury, it's a biological necessity. When you sleep well, everything else functions better. Your memory, your mood, your muscles, even your metabolism. Ninth, let's explore something that goes beyond diet, exercise, or sleep: staying socially connected. I'll never forget Mr. Ramirez, an 84-year-old widower who came to my clinic not for physical illness, but for fatigue and sadness he couldn't explain. We talked for a while, and I asked when he last had a meaningful conversation. He paused, then quietly said, "It's been days." We worked together to rebuild his social life, starting with a weekly game night at the local senior center. 3 months later, he came back smiling, sharper, and more energized than I'd ever seen him. Staying socially connected isn't just good for your spirit. It's medicine for your brain and body. Studies from Harvard, the CDC, and the Blue Zones all show the same thing. Strong social ties lead to lower rates of depression, cognitive decline, heart disease, and even early death. Isolation, on the other hand, increases stress hormones, weakens the immune system, and accelerates aging. You don't need to be an extrovert or have a big family to stay connected. Start small. Call a friend or relative every day, join a local club, attend a faith service, or volunteer in your community. Even brief, positive interactions, like chatting with your neighbor or saying hello at the grocery store, can make a difference. Aim for at least one meaningful social interaction per day, even if it's just a 10-minute phone call. Dr. Wells's tip: schedule your social time like you would a doctor's appointment. Write it in your calendar. The act of looking forward to something, whether it's a lunch date, a church group, or a Zoom call with your grandkids, gives structure and joy to your week. And don't be afraid to reach out first. Most people are craving connection just like you. Social health is real health. Staying connected keeps your mind sharp, your heart full, and your life rich with purpose. 10th and finally, let's talk about something deeper than habits or health metrics: finding a sense of purpose each day, also known in Japan as ikigai. I once met Mrs. Tanaka, a 100-year-old woman from Okinawa who started every morning the same way. She swept the path to her garden, trimmed her bonsai trees, and wrote one handwritten note to a friend or neighbor. When asked what kept her going, she didn't mention medication, diet, or even exercise. She simply said, "I still have something to offer." Ikigai means a reason to wake up in the morning. And research shows that people who have this sense of daily purpose live longer, feel happier, and experience lower rates of depression and cognitive decline. Whether it's taking care of a pet, mentoring a younger person, cooking for your family, or working on a creative project, having something that gives you meaning helps reduce stress, regulate blood pressure, and improve overall life satisfaction. You don't need to find one big mission. Small, consistent joys are just as powerful. Think about what you enjoy doing or who you enjoy helping. Maybe it's calling your grandchildren every week, tending to your plants, or sharing your stories with others. Create a simple morning ritual. Write down one thing you're grateful for and one thing you're looking forward to. That alone can shift your entire outlook. Dr. Wells's tip: purpose doesn't always arrive. It's built through action. If you're unsure where to start, volunteer just 1 hour a week, offer to help a neighbor, or revisit a hobby you used to love. Purpose is not about productivity. It's about presence. When you give something of yourself, even a smile, you feel more alive. Purpose fills your days with direction and your heart with meaning. And that's what truly keeps us going. Not just longer, but better. After spending over 3 decades caring for older adults, I've seen 2 types of aging. One that's marked by steady decline, and one that's filled with energy, clarity, and joy. The difference rarely comes down to genetics. More often, it's the result of daily habits and the mindset behind them. That's what this video was all about. 10 simple, powerful steps that work not because they're trendy, but because they're timeless. You don't need to overhaul your entire lifestyle overnight. Real transformation begins with small, consistent shifts. Eat 1 more cup of leafy greens each day. Swap sugary drinks for water or tea. Add 15 minutes of movement after lunch. Turn off your phone an hour before bedtime. Call an old friend just to check in. These actions may seem small in the moment, but they compound day after day, year after year, to create a life that feels strong, steady, and full of vitality. And don't underestimate your own power in this process. The human body is remarkably resilient. At any age, your body wants to heal, to grow stronger, to adapt. But it needs your cooperation. Give it better fuel, better sleep, better movement, and better moments of purpose. And in return, it gives you something far more valuable than just extra years. It gives you the ability to live those years with grace and freedom. I also want to remind you of something that science can't always measure, but we see it every day in our patients: the power of mindset. People who live long and well tend to share a few traits. They're curious. They're optimistic. They find joy in simple things. And most of all, they believe they still matter. So my challenge to you is this: choose one thing from today's video that spoke to you. Just one. Don't wait until next week, next month, or when life calms down. Start today. Write it down. Commit to it. Tell someone. Then tomorrow, do it again. Consistency, not perfection, is what leads to change. I've seen 70-year-olds turn their health around, 80-year-olds rediscover passion, and 90-year-olds start new routines that transformed their lives. If they can do it, so can you. Because in the end, living to 90 or even 100 isn't about adding more time. It's about adding more life to the time you already have. And that's something you can begin creating, one step at a time, starting right now. You're not too old. You're not too late. You're exactly where you need to be to begin. So now you've seen all 10 habits. Simple, powerful choices that have helped thousands of older adults live longer, healthier, and more meaningful lives. But here's the truth. None of it matters unless you take action. Don't try to do everything at once. Just choose one thing that spoke to you, whether it's adding a handful of leafy greens, calling an old friend, or turning off screens before bed. Start with that. Do it today. And if you found value in this video, share it with someone you care about. Because we're not just building health, we're building a community of people who want to age with strength, clarity, and purpose. Hit that like button if this inspired you. Subscribe for more weekly guidance tailored for the 50-plus journey. And in the comments, let me know. What's the one habit you're committing to starting this week? Remember, you're never too old, and it's never too late to feel better, live better, and love life again. We're in this together. See you in the next video.